Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Your Requests Here video. This is the third such video that I have done. Every now and then I record an updated one of these so that you have a fully updated list of the Loco and route options available to you. This one was particularly handy because, the previous one, there's always a pinned comment in with these videos where I write out any additional either locos or routes that I've got since recording the video. But with that one, I'd hit the character limit and I couldn't update it anymore. So this was certainly necessary. Now, if you've never made a request or you're completely new to this channel, this is the place where you will put your requests. Just bung them in the comments of this video. The two previous Your Requests Here videos, you can put the requests in those as well, but obviously those videos are out of date. They do not show all of the options available to you. However, I can't be bothered to go through all of the actual videos of train runs that I've done and alter the link in them, so I just kept them, and you can make the request there. I will insist absolutely that the Your Requests Here videos are the only place to make a request. If you make a request in a comment of one of the actual train run videos, I'm not going to do it. It's a lot easier for me and for everyone else if they're all in one place or all in one specific kind of video. And every single one of the train run videos has a link to one of these Your Requests Here vids. So I don't think I'm asking too much that you do 2 mouse clicks prior to actually putting your request in. So that's how it is. Now, with regards to the requests themselves, you can be as general or as specific as you like. So you can just say, I want to see such and such a loco, and that's it. Or you could say, I want to see a run on such and such a route, and leave me to come up with the rest of it. That is absolutely fine. Or you can be as specific as as you can stomach. So you could say, I want such and such a loco on X route, starting at X station, finishing at Y station. We will stop at blah 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 stations along the way. The livery of your train will be blah blah blah, and the season will be the weather will be blah blah blah, and we will start at such and such a time. You want to be that specific, go right ahead, not a problem. There are a few sort of requests that I won't do. Let me just make sure I've got all of the info here. There are a few requests that I won't do. I won't do any that are not in the UK. I just don't know the routes, I don't know the signalling, I don't have very many non-UK locos, and I don't know how to control them. So I am sticking with UK only routes. Also, I am not doing any shunting. I don't like shunting. It's a bit boring and it can get really tedious. So there's no point asking for any shunters because, yeah, I'm not going to do shunting runs. However, probably the biggest change compared to the two previous videos, I will now do steam train runs. But there are a couple of caveats here. When it comes to steam trains, I will only do passenger runs. I'm nowhere near good enough to even think about doing freight runs yet. And there is a distance limit. I will do up to 50 miles, roughly. Now, when I say roughly, I mean you can add 10% to that. So yeah, the very maximum I will do is 55. Now I am going to be a real stickler for that. If you ask for a route that is 55 and a half, I'm not doing it. And the reason for that is, yeah, I get one person who comes along and says, oh, this route is only 56, and I do it. The next person comes along, oh, this one is only 57, and then the next one, this one's only 59, and so on and so on, and they will all expect it to be done. So I am going to put a stop to that before it even has the chance to start. 55 is the absolute maximum distance I will do in the steam train runs, and not 1 inch further. So keep that in mind if you are going to request steam trains. Another one is I don't want to be bombarded with steam train requests. I am still predominantly electric and diesel, so I'm limiting steam trains to 1 every couple of weeks. If you want to do if you want to make a steam train request and someone has already requested one and it's less than 2 weeks ago, then they beat you to it. You gotta wait. It's my channel, it's my rules. So that is everything as far as steam trains. I mean, the bottom line is, yes, I am going to do them, but yeah, keep those caveats in mind, because I'm not going to forget them. And if you make a request that ignores any one of those caveats, it's not happening. Right, are there any other caveats to keep in mind? Yes, sort of. When it comes to custom consists, yes, obviously I will do them, because if I'm going to be doing a run in a locomotive, then it's highly likely I will need to put a custom consist together. And certainly when it comes to freight runs, I will do them. But when it comes to multiple units, no, don't ask me to make a custom consist of multiple units. It's extremely irritating trying to do it, because so often they just do not want to work. So yeah, custom consists of actual locomotives, passenger and freight. Yep, that is fine, but not multiple units. So again, keep that in mind. Oh yeah, one other thing that I forgot to mention about, yeah, if you are going to be very specific, you can also, if you really want to, choose whether it's the Armstrong Powerhouse version of whatever Loco, or the Dovetail Games version, or the Just Trains version. Obviously I need to have those particular versions, but yeah, that's another specific that you can ask for. Okay. Oh yes, and keep your requests to 1 at a time. Once you've made one request, wait for that video to be done before you make your next one. Yeah, that one I think is common sense, but you never know sometimes. This is YouTube we are talking about. So, okay, let's take a look then at what our options are. So as with all of these videos, I will go through the locomotive options first, and then I will go through the routes. This is likely to take a while. I have 30 pages of locomotives and 10 pages of routes to get through. Obviously, some routes will only work with certain locos, so you will need to keep that in mind. And I'm not going to go through all of the liveries that are available for each loco, but the chances are, if you are going to make a request and be specific about the livery that the train is going to be using, then I think it's a safe guess that you know your stuff well enough that you know what livery that particular train would be using anyway, you know. So yeah, I don't need to go through all of the liveries, which is a good job because there are some where I have like a huge number of them. So we shall start then with the locos. Now, even though I have 30 pages of them, there are a fair few duplicates, including ones like these two, these are AI consists for like specific routes. Don't ask me which ones. Now, fortunately for me, all of the AI ones are just duplicates of locos that I've already got, so I'll just skip by the AI ones. But yeah, you will see that I have drivable options of all of these AI trains anyway. Just going back to the steam for a minute. Some steam trains are probably not going to be the best for doing passenger runs, and I'll just remind you, I am only going to do passenger runs in steam trains, so yeah, you may want to keep that in mind if you are going to choose a steam run. Yeah. So right, we're on page 1. So yeah, we start then with 3 steam trains. The 040 ST saddle tank. 040 is referring to the wheel configuration. 7F, I think that is Black 5 280. And yeah, this is quite the mighty steam train. One of the A4 Pacifics. This is the Union of South Africa. We then go on to the first of quite a few Armstrong Powerhouse locos. So here we have the class 158 and 159 DMU. Here we have the 168, the 170 and the 171 DMUs. The 171 only has the one livery. That was always the case, and in fact this Southern Rail livery here, yeah, that is the one for the class 171. And then the class 205 is another DMU. Again, quite a few liveries for that one. Now this class 205 is actually the version that is on Steam, but it is also by Armstrong Powerhouse. This one only has the one livery, it's the Network Southeast one, but I mean that livery is available in the previous 205 that we've just gone by, so yeah, not a problem. On to the class 317. This is yeah, an EMU. This uses the overhead 25 kilovolt electrification. The class 318 again uses the overhead electrification. This one only has Scottish liveries because yeah, 318 only operated in Scotland. Same with the next one, the class 320. Again, yeah, this one only has Scottish liveries because the 320 only operated in Scotland. Next is the 321. This one has plenty of liveries because yeah, this thing ran all over the place. Again, overhead electrification. 322 only have the one livery for this, and it is the first ScotRail one, so it's not a Scotland exclusive to 322, but yeah, I've only got the Scottish livery there. Yet another emu that uses overhead electrification. First Loco, this is the class 37. The class 97 is also found here. Back to emus, so we have the Electro Stars, so the class 375 and 377s are there. The class 376, this is actually a freeware Loco. Whenever I use a freeware item, whether it's a Loco or a route, I always include the link to the download for it. So if you are keen to get it, yeah, the download link will be there. At the very least, you'll be able to see what the requirements for it are. So yeah, 376. Actually, some of these I just forgot to point out are actually dual voltage. The 375 and 377 are certainly dual voltage, so this can use overhead electrification and third rail. I'm not sure about 376. I think it is dual voltage, that one. 378, this is definitely dual voltage, the Capital Star. Yep, two liveries for that one. The 379, I have quite a few liveries. Most of them are pretty boring. They're all white with bits of colour occasionally, but yeah, not a whole hell of a lot of them. Again, I think the 379 is a dual voltage one. The 387 is certainly dual voltage. I got quite a few liveries for this, including the current Gatwick Express. The class 411 and 412, they are both together there. Yeah, no shortage of liveries and consists for those two. So that's the first generation emu. That one is third rail only. The class 444 and the 450, they're both very similar actually. Again, these are third rail only emus. Class 455, again this is third rail only. Again, I've got a lot of consists. There aren't a huge amount of liveries for this, reasonable amount, but yeah. Back to locomotives. We are still in the Armstrong Powerhouse selection, by the way. So yeah, class 50 diesel electric loco, actually, this one. And then the class 56 diesel electric. That is very much a freight specialist. 50 is more of an all-rounder. Onwards to the class 66, this is certainly a freight specialist. I have a ridiculous number of liveries for this, by which I mean I have 40 of them. It does help that, the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack, I have both volumes of it, so yeah. The class 68. Absolutely essential if you like the 68, because the Dovetail Games one is bordering on the undrivable. So this, yeah, another diesel electric. The class 700, 707 and 717, they are all together there. You've got a mixture actually of third rail only and dual voltage. The 700 and the 717 are dual voltage, so you can use third rail or overhead. The 707 is third rail only. Class 800, 801, 802 and 803. Again, quite a selection of liveries here. But yeah, these are infinitely better than the Dovetail Games version of the 801. And I mean, that one is not bad to drive, but yeah, this one is just a lot better. A lot of features that are missing from the Dovetail Games one are included in this. The 805 and 807, this is another freeware one. The 805 is another dual mode like the 800 and the 802 here, so you can use overhead electrification or diesel engine. 807 is yeah, single mode. It's actually a overhead electrification or battery powered, which the 803 in this also is. Onto the class 86, the first of the tap changer locos. The class 87 is the second of them. The 86 and 87 are very much all-rounders, so yeah, freight or passenger. Class 92, this one is for actually it is a sort of freight specialist, but there are passenger consists available for it, because this is the train that does the Caledonian Sleeper. And indeed, I've already done a couple of videos with this loco as the Caledonian Sleeper. So yeah, it can do passenger runs, probably not your standard ones. It's a bit too slow, but yeah, it can certainly do those runs. The HST, this is the Valenta engined HST, a huge number of liveries for this. It's the only Armstrong Powerhouse locomotive, as opposed to emus, that actually had some consists other than light engine already included with it, but not with all of the liveries. So if you want a very specific livery, there is a possibility that I will have to make up that consist myself. Still with the Armstrong Powerhouse, this is the class 313. This is the first of the PEPs. This is a dual voltage one, so yeah, overhead electrification or third rail, you can use either. Class 314 and 315, both of these, again, they're PEPs. These are only overhead electrification. Then with the freeware ones, we have class 507 and the 508, even though it only shows 508 here. So this one, you've got, yeah, this is third rail only. There's no overhead with that one. So well, it's the last of this batch of Armstrong Powerhouse, but there are a couple more AP locos still to come. So onto, well, briefly onto Steam anyway, with the BR Black 5 Steam loco. That has already appeared in the video. We'll skip the shunter. We're onto the class 156 DMU. The class 506 EMU can be a bit of a tricky one to drive. This is made, well, this is included with the woodhead line in blue, as is the class 76BX here, but you can actually use these on any route with overhead electrification. So yeah, don't worry about having to only use them on the woodhead line. That's not the case. Class 506, as I say, can be a bit of a tricky one to drive. The key is treat it roughly. You know, really put it through hell and it will thank you for it. The class 76BX is easily the most difficult diesel or electric train to drive. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. And if you think that model does not look particularly good, go and take a look at some photographs. That is what the 76BX looked like. It was never going to win any beauty contest, that thing. Okay, onwards, got a couple more steam trains here. So the BR Standard 2MT and the Standard Class 9F. This has already appeared in a video. I do really like the 9F. I consider it the greatest steam train ever built. Then we have some, yeah, these two are not UK, so they won't be chosen. We have another Black 5. And then, yeah, these are AI trains, so ignore these. CH, yeah, it's Chiltern Line that brought these in. Don't quite know why. Castle class, I think that is another like duplicate because it's an AI one. So yeah, skip these, and we'll skip the shunters because yeah, I'm not doing shunting. So the next actual option is the class 101 DMU, very early DMU, which has yeah, manual gears. So we have another class 101 here with the Strathclyde livery. Continuing with the early DMUs, class 105, the 111, 3 versions of the 117, including this freeware one, which is with the Epping and Ongar railway. This one is not a freeware one, NSR, North Somerset Railway. And finally the class 121 bubble car. All of those DMUs have manual gears. Briefly back to diesel locomotives with the class 14, and then we're back to DMUs again with the Dyer class 142. Awful thing. Then we're on to the class 143. Don't quite know why they've given it 2 entries, but nevertheless it does have them. I mean, the 143 is certainly an improvement on the 142, but that's about the only loco that it's an improvement on. And then we have 7 different class 150s. The liveries are the only difference there. Quite why they split them up into 7 different entries, I will never know. So continuing, the class 153, this is a Just Trains loco. So yeah, another DMU, but it is a single car, so calling it diesel multiple unit, I mean technically yes it is one, but yeah, it's just a single one. So then we have the Dovetail Games 158s and the 159. I do have a reasonable number of liveries for the 158, nowhere near as many as I have for the Armstrong Powerhouse one. With the 159, I only have 2 liveries for that one. The Southwest Trains one you can see here, and Network Southeast. That's it. Onwards to the class 165, the Networker Turbo. This one is not a great model. If I'm going to drive a 165, I will use this one. This is a Just Trains one. Same with the 166. Actually, again, the model here is not fantastic. I'll drive the 166 here. There's also more livery options there as well. Onto the 170. Again, I'm more likely to use the Armstrong Powerhouse 170, but nevertheless, it is there. So yeah, we've got 3 different versions of the 170. This one here, APWL. AP makes you think it's Armstrong Powerhouse, and you're sort of right, it is one, but this is specifically the version that comes with the Wherry Lines route, which was by Armstrong Powerhouse. So yeah, that's why that one is sort of kept as a separate. Class 172, I think that's the last of the Turbo Stars. That one is included with the North London line, the Goblin line. Class 175, absolutely diabolical train in real life, but in the game it's okay. It's not great, but it's all right. The class 180, this is a diabolical train in real life. In the game, again, it's okay. I have applied a third-party patch to it to improve it, especially when it comes to braking. Yeah, it does only have the 1 livery, the Grand Central one. Yeah, it's... in real life, so yeah, it's awful, but in the game it's okay. It's not great, but it's alright. Onto the Class 20, this is a Dovetail Games Class 20. It's pretty good, but I have better. The Class 220 Voyager. This, of course, was the train used in the Behemoth run. This is a Just Trains one. Plenty of videos showing that one up and running. The Class 221 Super Voyager. This is the Dovetail Games version, which comes with two routes, the North Wales and the West Coast Mainline South. And then this is the Class 221 from Just Trains. So, yeah, two options there as far as the 221 goes. On to a few diesel locomotives. So the Class 24, Class 25, Class 27, three Salzer engined diesel locos. Back to emus with Class 303. This one I did do a video showing this and showed that it was possibly the worst made train in the game. But since then I found this sound mod, which not only improves the audio but also improves the physics, and it does make it a lot better. It's still not absolutely like, you know, revolutionary, but yeah, it's so much better than it was. So Class 31 diesel loco, two options there. I've got a reasonable amount of liveries for that one. Class 319, definitely not a favourite of mine. Yeah, I think they're pig ugly looking things. They drive okay, but yeah, definitely not a favourite. Class 320, so yeah, this is the Dovetail Games version of the 320, and yeah, again, this one only has Scottish liveries. So I say plural, it's only got this one livery here, so again, I'm likely to use the AP version rather than this one. Class 321, I mean, yeah, 321s were everywhere. It's got a reasonable number of liveries. Again, this is the Dovetail Games version. I prefer the Armstrong Powerhouse one, so I'm more likely to use that. Still with emus, Class 323. This one is from the Birmingham Cross City route. Class 325, the Royal Mail Specialist. Yeah, I mean, technically it is an emu. Well, there's no technically about it. It is an emu. It is a dual voltage emu as well, but yeah, you're not doing passenger runs in that one. Back to locos, Class 33. Then back to emus, the Class 334, the Juniper. This is another freeware one. I've not actually tried this yet, so I don't know how it drives. To be honest, I don't even know if it's working, but it's here, so it's a good start. Back to locos, Class 35 Hymec, the first of the diesel hydraulic locos. And we have two of the Class 350s. Even though this one says 350/1, yeah, both options have the 350/1, /0, /3, /4. There's plenty of options there. Not a huge amount of options as far as the livery goes, but yeah, certainly options as far as the train. Again, this is the Dovetail Games version. I don't have the Armstrong Powerhouse one yet. Class 357, so yeah, I do have all of the Electro Stars. This is a real sort of like bottom end entry level Electro Star. This only runs on one line in real life, and that is the London Tilbury and Southend line, which is the reason why I've got it. This is a freeware loco. Again, I've not tried it, so I don't know how well it drives, but it's an Electro Star. You sort of know what to expect. And yeah, the Class 360 Desiro, possibly the most boring emu ever built. It just has nothing in the way of character or charisma or anything. just incredibly dreary. Onwards to the Class 365, the networker. This one is basically an electrified version of the Class 165. Uses overhead electrification. The Class 37 diesel Loco, a legend of the rails. So I have 3 different versions of these. I've got more than 3. But again, I'm much more likely to use the Armstrong Powerhouse one than any of these. These are the Dovetail Gaines ones. Actually, this is an Armstrong Powerhouse one, but again, this is from the Wherry Lines route. Onwards, Class 370, the APT, legendary train, really doesn't need any introduction. And then we have the Dovetail Games Electro Stars. So yeah, 375, 377, 378. Onwards to, yeah, a couple more emus. These ones are overhead electrification only, and both Scottish exclusives. So yeah, the Class 380 and the 385. They're both great emus actually. Need to do more videos in those. Onwards to the Class 390, the Pendolino. Again, I actually have 4 livery versions of those. The Avanti liveried one, which this one here, is by far the best to drive because, well, it works better than the 3 that are in this one. The Class 395, which is pretty good to drive as long as you don't drive it on the one route that it was actually built for. Yeah, weird, but yeah, the internal signalling, I hate it. So yeah, it was built for HS1, but I would rather drive it just about anywhere else. There's another dual voltage high speed emu. Class 40 locomotive, legendary Loco as far as I'm concerned anyway. Yeah, great thing that. That is a digital traction version of the Class 40. It's the only one you can still get. You get it from Just Trains, so technically I suppose you could say it's a Just Trains yeah, version. Class 402, 2 Hal, that is third rail only. Going way back with this one, 1938 this thing ran. Then on to some first generation emus. These are all going to be third rail again, so the Class 415. This variant and the next variant on the next page, yeah, there's no images of them. So yeah, the Class 416 and the Class 419, yeah, these are all yeah, third rail emus. The 419 is a bit of an unusual one because it's not for passengers. It's for, like, you know, doing mail runs. Briefly back to Locos, the Class 42 warship. This is a yeah, the next diesel hydraulic. Back to the third rail first generation emus, so the Class 421, 2 versions of that, the 422 and the 423. The first of many appearances of the Class 43. I do quite like the Dovetail Gaines version, the 43, but yeah, I've got the Armstrong Powerhouse one. It is much better, so that's likely to be the one that I will use. Class 442, so we have 2 versions of this. This is the Gatwick Express version, and then there's this one with the Network Southeast livery. Class 444 Desiros. Yeah, it's like I'm going to use the AP ones of the 444s, and the same with the 450s here. Third rail only, those ones. Class 45 Loco. This one here again says Class 45. It is in fact a Class 46. It's another freeware one. Don't quite know why it comes up as Class 45, but yeah, it is a Class 46. There's pretty much no difference at all between the two, so Right, 450 is already done. 455, again, third rail Emu. Again, I'm more likely to use the Armstrong Powerhouse one. Class 456, an Emu that's never going to win any beauty contests. I have a feeling I'm going to have the Armstrong Powerhouse one of this relatively soon. So yeah, chances are once this gets requested, it'll be the AP version that I use. Not really getting it because I desperately want the 456, because I'm really not a fan of the 456, but it's the requirement for a route that I'm after, so yeah, I will be getting it. The class 465 and 466, so these, rather like the 365, yeah, they're electrified versions of the class 165 and 166, and these ones, yeah, third rail. Onwards to the class 47, we have yeah, 5 different entries for it here. Got plenty of variations, including my favourite one here, the 47-7 in the GBRF livery. Class 483, the old tube stock, which is used on the Isle of Wight line. If you want to see any runs on the Isle of Wight, it pretty much needs to be done in this. I think I can use this on other third rail routes, and I can also use it on any other London Underground routes as well. I think so. I've not tried it, so I don't know for sure, but yeah, I think that is the case. Onwards to class 487. This is the underground train that does the London Waterloo to, yeah, the Waterloo and City line of the London Underground. I mean, being on the Waterloo and City line means it's just going backwards and forwards a very short distance all day, but nevertheless, it's another underground train that I have available. Class 489 GLV, this is an early DVT, so it has no engine. This would be put on the back of the Gatwick Express Class 73 for the push-pull service. So in one direction you will be driving the actual 73, the other direction you're driving this thing. The DTG Class 50 is not bad, but it's not as good as the AP one. Class 503, unfortunately I don't have the route that this would have run on, but nevertheless we can still use it. Say it's part of a rail tour or something. Yeah, we're really going back with this thing. That is another third rail Emu. Class 52, the Western, this is the third and final of the diesel hydraulic locos. Onto the class 55, the Deltic, legendary train. So yeah, we have it in the BR blue and the original British Railways green. Class 56, this particular version is the original Romanian one, which were terrible. I've not actually tried it yet in the game, so I don't know how well they drive yeah, game wise. This one I have driven a fair few times. But again, nowadays, if I'm going to do a run in a 56, I'll use the AP version. Class 57, 2 different versions of this. This is, yeah, the Freightliner version and the Rail Tour. Pretty self-explanatory. Then we have a few freight specialists. So the Class 58, Class 59, these are all diesel locos. Class 60. And then we have 3 versions of the Class 66, and I think we've got at least 2 more, yeah, on this page. Again, these are all the Dovetail Games versions, and I'm much more likely to use the Armstrong Powerhouse version if I'm going to do a run in a 66. Class 67 has 3 different entries. currently I am more likely to use the Just Trains version, but it's, yeah, give it about a month or so and I will probably have the Armstrong Powerhouse version, and that will probably be the one that I use most often then. But at the moment, yeah, I don't have that one, so yeah, you got these three and the Just Trains one just to come, or still to come. Class 68, this is the Dovetail Games one. There are two versions in here. There's the version that comes with the Fife Circle line, which has a third party patch applied to it, which really helps it. For one thing, it's actually drivable. There's also the Dovetail Games Loco DLC, which is undrivable. The brakes are ridiculous. So yeah, if I'm going to do a Class 68 run, it will be the AP version I use. Class 70, yeah, don't have a huge amount of variation with the 70. We have the Power Haul version here and the Freightliner version here. The only difference is this one says Freightliner on the side and this one doesn't. That's it. The Class 700, this is the DTG version. This also has a third-party patch applied to it, and it does really improve it. I've not yet given it, like, you know, a full run, but it certainly does help it out a lot. I mean, the DTG 700 I didn't think was too bad anyway, but the AP one is better, it has to be said. Class 717, this is a third party freeware version. This actually comes with the patch that I've applied to the Class 700 here. So yeah, both the 717 and the 700, these are dual voltage, so yeah, you can use these on third rail or overhead electrification. Class 73, this one is a bit of a weird one. So 73 is the electro diesel. It has electric power and a diesel engine, but there's actually three different versions in here. There's the version that comes with the BR in blue pack. There's the version that is the Gatwick Express pack, which yeah, you can see the image of here. And then there's a third version which is included as a bonus if you buy the Class 460 Loco DLC. And all three of them drive differently. Now the difference between the BR in blue and the Gatwick Express version is quite slight. In fact, the real difference is that the diesel engine in the Gatwick Express is a lot more powerful than it is in the BR in blue. It's still not fantastic, but it's a lot better than the BR in blue one. As far as actually driving them, they drive exactly the same. But the one that comes with the Class 460 is completely different. So yeah, that one you need to that one will need a bit more practice, as if the other two 73s didn't. Class 76, this is the version from the original Woodhead line, not the Woodhead line in blue. That was the 76BX that we saw earlier. Class 77, again, this is on the Woodhead line, and just like the two previous Woodhead line Locos, these can be run on any route that use overhead electrification. Doesn't have to be just the Woodhead line. Class 801, this is the Dovetail Games version of the 801. It actually does drive really well, so even though the AP version is better and by a healthy margin, doesn't mean the DTG version is no good. This is fine. Class 85, this is the this is actually a freeware Loco. Yeah, it's another tap changer Loco. I think it drives quite well actually. yeah, I do quite like the old 85. So yeah, this is overhead electrification only, as are pretty much all of the next few trains. So the 86 and 87. So yeah, these are the dovetail gauge versions of these two. They drive yeah, using the tap changer. I think they are absolutely fine, but the Armstrong Powerhouse versions of the 86 and 87 are noticeably better. I do really like them. And I say this as someone who likes the Dovetail games 86 and 87. So, Class 89, another electric loco using overhead electrification. It's the only one that is a Class 80 something that does not use the tap changer. This has the standard throttle. Only ever been one of these things built, but if you do the Peterborough to York line, it is determined to have you believe that there are plenty of these things that were up and running. Onwards, right, the Class 90. This has both the Dovetail Games and the Armstrong Powerhouse versions included. So the Armstrong Powerhouse one, I only have the Freightliner version. So yeah, it's the Freight Class 90. Yeah, if you want to see the AP version, it's that. As it is, I think the Dovetail Games version of the Class 90 was by Armstrong Powerhouse as well. So you're going to see a pretty decent train, whichever one you choose. But if you want to see freight runs in a 90, it has to be the Freightliner one. The all the other liveries, yeah, they are still geared for passenger runs. They're hopeless at freight, so yeah, keep that in mind if you're going to choose a specific livery. Class 91, this one is absolutely useless, and I wouldn't give it the time of day. This one, like the 90, this has both the Dovetail Games version and the Armstrong Powerhouse version. They're both together. The Dovetail Games version is horrific, and I am not going to touch it with a barge pole. The Armstrong Powerhouse version is great. It's as good as the Dovetail Games version is dreadful. So yeah, I will only drive the AP version when it comes to the Class 91. Class 92, this one is yeah, the Dovetail Games version again. It's actually pretty good train to drive, but the AP version is a good deal better. So yeah, I'll be driving the AP one of this. Again, yeah, all of the 90, the 91, 92, all overhead electrification. The Class A4 Pacifics, this is all of the Pacifics, or at least all of the famous ones, including the Mallard. So yeah, they're all there. Class 68 Chiltern, yeah, there's no image of it, it's just a yeah, the Chiltern line paint job. If I'm going to drive a Class 68 with a Chiltern line paint job, I'm definitely driving the AP version. So yeah, this is a bit pointless really. Chorus number 7. This is a narrow gauge railway steam loco. If you want to see a route, or yeah, a run done on the Chorus railway, it has to be in this, I think. Yeah, this is the only steam, or it is the only loco that has, you know, is the right size, the right gauge to do runs on the Chorus Railway. So, yeah, it's got to be that one, I think. Anyway, well, we'll see as we go on. These two are not UK, so we'll be skipping them. These are not UK. Right, now this, I'm trying to remember what route this appears in. it might be the Corris Railway. So you might have this option, except you don't have this option because this is a shunter, so not happening. Everything else on this page, yeah, is not UK, so won't be doing those. So the ballast tamper, really wish there was an image showing there, but no, it just doesn't want to know. I have done a video in the ballast tamper. It was done quite a while ago. I've never driven it since, and I've completely forgotten how to control it. So yeah, that could be interesting when the next one, next request for this comes along, if one ever comes along. Right, then we have a few GWR steam locos. So the 5700. Or the variations of the 5700 pannier tank, the Grange class, the Hall class, King class. We've got two versions of the King class, modified version of the Hall class, another version of the 5700 pannier. So yeah, you got those ones there. The Glasgow Subway 1980 DM. I can't remember what DM actually stands for, but shock horror, this one only runs on the Glasgow Subway. If you want to see this train running, it's got to be the Glasgow Subway. It's the only train that is able to run on that gauge, the 4-foot gauge that the Glasgow Subway route uses. So yeah, with that route, it's this train or nothing. So onwards, the Hawthorne Leslie saddle tank. I hope that means more to you than it does to me. 3 more Dovetail Gaines high speed trains. Yeah, already covered that. I'll be doing the using the AP one if I'm going to be driving any of these. That is German, so we won't be doing that one. This is an AI entry, so yeah, we can skip that. The Class 222 Meridian, the Voyager train done right. And then into the first of the underground trains. So this is the S7+1. In fact, the difference between the S7+1 and the S8 is quite slight. S7+1 is slightly more compact, so it forms a shorter train compared to the S8. And the seating arrangement is different between the two. That's it. They both drive identically. Quite challenging drives actually, but I'm fairly sure I can drive these on almost any of my underground lines. Can't drive it on the Waterloo and City, but I think I can drive it on all the rest. So we have some of the Just Trains versions now. So the Just Trains Class 20. So if I'm going to be asked to, do a Class 20 run, it will almost certainly be in this. With a Class 60, it's not so clear cut. Both the Just Trains version here and the Dovetail Gaines one that we've already looked at, they both have their plus points and their negative points. So yeah, I guess it really does depend on how I feel at the time if I'm asked to do a Class 60 run. So that one, it could be either or. Class 67, the reason this has 2 entries is this one is to consist with the RHTT, and this is yeah, the actual Loco DLC from Just Trains. Again, actually, the 67, the Just Trains one does drive really well, but the Dovetail Gaines one doesn't drive too badly either. But as I said earlier, I will be getting the AP one fairly soon, sort of like in about a month's time, and yeah, that one will probably be the one that I drive most often. But until I've got that, yeah, it could be either the JT or the DTG one. On to some more steam trains. So the 8F, the LMS 8F, the LMS Black 5. This one is not bad actually. I think this is the one, it actually has a speedo fitted to it. How revolutionary. The LMS Fowler 4F, the LMS Jubilee is a great one, this. Yeah, I don't have a huge amount of LMS ones. So we're on to the LNERs, the A1s, I think that's the Tornado is an A1. On to the A2s, yeah, so it mentions there the Blue Peter. On to the A3s, everyone knows the most famous A3 of them all. Yep, it is the Flying Scotsman. And then the LNER V2, not quite so familiar with V2s. Then we have a number of underground trains. These all came with the virtual district line that I have. So the R49, 73TS, battery Loco, C69, D78. I haven't driven any of these, so I couldn't tell you how they drive. But you know, it's an underground train. It's probably going to be quite challenging. The Mark III DVT, also known as the Class 82. Yeah, this is, well, actually for the most part it's fitted to the rear of Class 90s, but I don't know if it actually works if you install it or yeah, you fit it to the back of other trains. But yeah, there are several other trains that would have a Mark III DVT at the rear. But I think in order to be able to actually use this, yeah, it's got to be attached to a yeah, a Class 90. Shame, I could have done without that limitation, but is what it is. Class 460, dreadful train in real life, but in the game it actually drives quite well. That's another Gatwick Express one. Well, the 460 was only ever used as a Gatwick Express. Some more steam, well yeah, this one is a steam train. The original, the very first Metropolitan Line underground train. I've not driven it, couldn't tell you what it's like. I can imagine it is properly difficult though. Again, on the Metropolitan electric Loco, yeah, not driven it. Same with this standard stock one here, I've not driven that either. Permaquip personnel carrier, it's still here, still hasn't been driven anywhere. Still doesn't look like it's going to rival an APT on the speed front. Class 7F, so this one is the version from the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. V200 is not British, so I won't be driving that, even though it did briefly operate on British rails. This Class 37 is the West Highland Line version, so yeah, it's the DTG Class 37. Again, I'll be using the AP one for most of it. The Austerity Tank, this is the train that comes with the Memories of Mardy line. I've not driven it, couldn't tell you what it's like. This is the standard version. We're on to the final page at last. This Class 73 that's another custom consist that I made. Yeah, this is one that has the GBR freight livery. And finally, this is another AI version of the yeah, the S8 stock London Underground train. So yeah, ignore that, we'll just use the actual S8 Loco DLC. Well, there we are, that's all of the Locos. I told you it was going to be a long old video going through all that lot. So now we need to go through the routes that are available. Right, we are going on to the routes now. So, well, first up then, Barnstable to Exeter. This is known as the Tarka line. Yeah, I think Tarka line is the name I gave it in the online spreadsheet. Now, we don't have a huge selection of starting points in this line. So yeah, Barnstable, Exeter Central, Exeter St David's, and we can set the AI to be either in the British Rail era or the First Great Western era. And then as far as our destinations, yeah, all pretty much what you would expect. So yeah, no big surprises there. So next route is Birmingham Cross City. So at one end, yeah, you have Lichfield, Trent Valley. At the other, it does rather depend on which branch you're taking, but yeah, you've got either Bromsgrove or Redditch. And yeah, 24 stations on this route, so plenty of stops along the way. So yeah, that is Cross City. So next is Bristol to Exeter. I mean, you really don't get a great deal of options as far as your starting points. And yeah, the destinations all pretty much self-explanatory. This is a route that is unlikely to make another appearance because yeah, I've got other route DLCs that cover this entire route and a hell of a lot more besides. So anyway, that is that one. Next up is the Buchan line, the most recently added route. So yeah, you can start at either end, Aberdeen or Peterhead. You don't have a huge amount of options as far as which stations you can start at or what your destination stations are. There are plenty of other stations on the route, but yeah, you can't use them as departure or destination stops. But yep, there's your options there. Alright, next is the Chatham Main Line and Medway Valleys. Now, the Chatham Main Line, yeah, I've got like 3 of them, and they do all really overlap a hell of a lot. So this one, yeah, you've got London Victoria at one end. Now you're ending sort of like, yeah, your destinations, I mean, you've got options. Orpington is pretty much a yeah, a terminus. I think Strood can be used as a terminus. And we have Rainham. These stations here, this is all sort of pretty much in London as far as Ravensbourne. And then this is the actual Medway Valley line here itself. So yeah, it would start at Gravesend and it goes right the way down to Tunbridge. But unfortunately, if you want to do a Tunbridge run, yeah, you can't actually select it as starting from London. So if you were starting from, say, Victoria, you need to go as far as Gravesend by the looks of it. See if that is an option. No, it's not an option. So you'd have to go to, well, somewhere that's close to Gravesend, and then start the a second quick drive and join them together. I mean, it can be done. I've done it in videos. So anyway, there are all your options anyway. Now, Chatham mainline here is probably not going to be used. In fact, it definitely won't be used, because everything that's on this line is also in this one and in this one. So this one is, yeah, Chatham mainline, London Victoria to Dover, and I forget what the other one is. Ramsgate. There we go. So with this one, yeah, again, have the starting point. Or one end is Victoria. We could also start at Blackfriars. So again, we got the option to go to Orpington. Again, we got the options of Higham and Strood. Now, yeah, if we start at Higham, we can only go as far as Gravesend there. So yeah, we have Gravesend as an option there, but it goes on much further. We have the Sheerness branch line here. So yeah, we have the likes of Canterbury. And we have, yeah, Dover Priory, or if we were carrying along the North Kent line, so yeah, we have Whitstable, and then carry on, yeah, Margate, and eventually Ramsgate. Again, we have this route here where we could be going, yeah, as far as Ravensbourne. So yeah, this is quite a long old route. So next route is the China Claythorpe export route. Now this one takes place in Cornwall, and there is you can see, yeah, there are passenger services here. There are also some freight routes, but yeah, the quick drive options are very limited on this route, so I suspect that will play a part in, you know, with regards to how often this route gets chosen. Don't have a great selection there. So next is Cornish Main Line. So as far as starting points, here we've only got three options: Plymouth or Penzance. So, you know, one end to the other. Par is, well, relatively close to Penzance. It's certainly a downside closer to Penzance than it is Plymouth. And then yeah, we've got pretty much all of the stations between Penzance and Plymouth, so yeah, plenty of options as far as your destination. On to page 2, so the Corris Railway. This is steam only. It's the narrow gauge railway. Not a great deal of options as far as the yeah, the quick drive start and finishing points. So, you know, you start at Corris, East West to South is pretty much halfway. Tannicoid is at the opposite end. And if we start at Tannicoid, oh look, Corris is the other destination. So yeah, not a huge amount of options there. And there's even fewer options when it comes to which train to drive. You've got one. Doncaster Works is that's purely shunting, so that one's not an option. And Donna Pass is not UK, so we won't be doing that one. So East Coast Main Line, London to Peterborough. It's you know, really shouldn't need too much sort of explaining. However, there is an additional option. If we start there at London King's Cross, and yeah, Peterborough is at the other end. But we also have the option here, Moorgate. I've fitted or installed the extension, so we have part of the underground section, which well, if you're going south from King's Cross, it goes as far as Moorgate. If you're starting at Moorgate, then yeah, the furthest you can go is Welwyn Garden City. Your other options are Finsbury Park and Alexandra Palace. You can also, obviously, if you start at any of those stations, you do have the option, there you go, to go into Moorgate from here. So yeah, you've got options with that one. East Coast Main Line is the rather unhelpful title of the next one. This is up in the northeast, so York is the furthest south and Newcastle is the other extreme. Not a vast amount of stations on here. I'm sure there are some other stations as well as these ones that are listed here, but not a huge number of them. But yeah, this line is set at a time when it is not electrified, so yeah, you cannot use any electric locos on this particular line, even though it is part of the East Coast Main Line. So really you should be able to, but no, you can't. The East Midlands coal route, so if we are going, yeah, departure and destinations are listed alphabetically. So if we're going from one end to the other, you've got really Sherwood Colliery to High Marnham. That's going, like, you know, basically the full length of the line. But you can see there are a number of collieries and sidings that we can start at, and yeah, where you start greatly you know, influence where you can finish. But this one is purely freight. There are no passenger stops on this route at all. So next one, Edinburgh to Glasgow. I mean, it doesn't take, you know, a genius to work out this one. So you can start at either end, Edinburgh or Glasgow. Not a vast amount of stations along the way. So it is it's a fairly fast route actually, this one. But this route again, yeah, is not electrified. So for this route, you are looking at yeah, diesel only. Or you would be looking at diesel only if I didn't have this. So this is Edinburgh to Glasgow electrified, and it, you know, does what it says on the tin, you know. So this time, yeah, you can start at either Waverley or Queen Street. Now, there is a slight issue with the like pathfinding on this. One of the routes, if you're going in one direction. I think it's if you are going from Glasgow to Waverley, it sends you on a bit of a weird route, but you will still get to if we're starting at Queen Street, you will still get to Waverley, but yeah, it sends you on a bit of a strange route there. But there are a few additional options, as you may have noticed if you are using this one. I think those additional options are all freight related. But anyway, the fact that I have this means that you can select an electric train to do the Edinburgh to Glasgow run. Final one on this page is the Epping Ongar Railway. So this is a fairly short heritage line, entirely within Essex. I haven't run it at all, so I couldn't tell you what it's like, but yeah, there we are. That's another freeware route. I was actually meant to point out the freeware routes as I get to them. As it is, yeah, the Edinburgh to Glasgow electrified, that's a freeware route. But that and the Epping Ongar ones are the only freeware ones that we have done so far. Anyway, on to page 3. Falmouth branch line is very short. It's Falmouth to Truro. There are some stops along the way, but I mean this line is, I think it's about 10 miles long at most. So yeah, if you were to choose this, you would certainly want to do the entire run. Yeah, this is the route that I used in the first Steam run back in video 50. The next 5 circle line, Edinburgh to Dunfermline. So yeah, you have Edinburgh, Waverley at one end, and then once you get to Inverkeithing, this is where you then have the options of going to Glenross with Thornton either anti-clockwise or clockwise. If you're coming up from the south, you really want to go anti-clockwise. It's a much more scenic route. But if you are coming up, you say from Edinburgh, and your intention is to get to, you know, either Dunfermline or Cowden Beast, then really you want to be going clockwise. So, yep, that is that one. This one is not electrified. So next, Great Eastern Main Line, London to Ipswich. This is another route that has a few extras in here as well. So yeah, at one end then we have London Liverpool Street. At the other, well, we've got options. So you've got Ipswich, but we could go to the Harwich branch, and although we can't get there from London Liverpool Street, if we are in Ipswich, yeah, we have Felixstowe options. And if we start at Ipswich Goods Yards, yeah, we can then continue on to like the Felixstowe Yards, and even if we start in the Ipswich Locomotive Depot, Ipswich Yard, I'm not sure where Parkston Yard is, so I couldn't tell you, but yeah, it could be part of where Felixstowe is. But yeah, you start at Felixstowe, you can go on as far as, well, I mean, you can go on as far as Stratford if you start at Felixstowe. Carpenter's Curve, Stratford. So yeah, that's a pretty long run. And this route is electrified, though I suspect the Felixstowe yard probably isn't. So yeah, you'd need to use a diesel freight train if you are coming from here. But yeah, certainly the rest of the route is electrified, so yeah, that's fine. Glasgow Airport Rail Link. It's a very short route. It's not even 6 miles. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you go from Glasgow Central Station to Glasgow Airport. It is that obvious. There are a few stops along the way, but yeah, if you were going to do this route, in fact, really, if you're going to do this route, you would add it on to the end of a, you know, another route that is taking you to Glasgow Central, and then you would tack this on the end and go, you know, carry on to Glasgow Airport. You certainly wouldn't be, you know, choosing any of these stations as your destination. You know, you're going to go all the way to the airport. In fact, as we are talking about destinations, I think that is something I forgot to mention is, yeah, if the route that you want to request is done over more than one route DLC, that is no problem. The only caveat with it is if you are going from one DLC to the next, the station that you finish at in the first DLC must be the station that you are starting at when you go on to the next DLC. So if we use, say, the East Coast Main Line as an example, if you are going from London to York, so the first DLC you're going from London to Peterborough, and then with the next DLC, because we are again starting at Peterborough and then going from Peterborough to York. So that's absolutely fine. What I won't do is have you like gaps between it. So say for example, if you wanted to do like Inverness to Fort William, no, because Inverness we can go across to Cardiff Lockhouse, but we can't then go on to Fort William from there, because yeah, the route is not in the game. I'm not even sure it exists in real life. So yeah, that one I wouldn't do. So yeah, I knew there was always something that I was going to forget. So the next route is the Glasgow subway. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. You know, it is the yeah, Glasgow subway route. Unfortunately, here, yeah, we can't start at the depot, which is not above ground. So with a quick drive, we do have to start actually on, you know, or yeah, in the subway itself. So the obvious route will be Govan to Ibrox. Not sure if it's the outer or inner loop that you would take, but that does do, you know, a complete loop of it. If you get it wrong, then it's one stop and you're done, you know. So yeah, you certainly want to check that. So yeah, that's that one. So next, Glasgow to Dunblane and Alloa. So yeah, this is another one that's fairly self-explanatory really. So Glasgow Queen Street at one end, and we can go to well, we start at platform 4. Yeah, we are going on to Alloa. We start at platform 3, then we can go as far as Dunblane. A lot of this route actually follows the Glasgow to Edinburgh route, and then we turn off it just as we then go into Stirling. And from Stirling then you've got the options, because the branch that takes you to Alloa is will split away just after Stirling station, or you can just keep going, and so that will take you as far as Dunblane, but that's where it stops, which is a bit of a shame, because if it carried on going it would take you up to Perth, and from there onwards to Inverness, but wishful thinking, that one. That is an electrified line as well, the Glasgow to Dunblane and Alloa, and even the Alloa branch is electrified, so yeah, the whole thing is. Next one is Great Western Main Line. This line is unlikely to get used again for reasons we will cover when we get to its replacement. So yeah, your starting points are Oxford, Paddington or Reading. But this stays on the Great Western Main Line for the vast majority of it until we get to Didcot. But we can't actually stop or go into Didcot. So yeah, we would then turn off and head along the Oxford branch, and even then we can only go as far as Oxford. We can't continue along the branch after that, so it is a bit limited, this one, but like I say, it's also unlikely to be used again. Right, Hamburg to Hanover, obviously, yeah, we're not going to be doing that one. So Huddersfield line, Manchester to Leeds. This is the Transpennine route. So you have Manchester Victoria at one end, and we have Leeds at the other. And those are your other options as far as stations on that route. Right, on to page 4, and this is where we get the first of the ones that have the Just Trains prefix. So first one is Bristol and Avonmouth. We don't actually get a great deal of options as far as starting points, but most of these routes, well, most of these starting points I should say, are actually all on completely different routes to each other. So Severn Beach, here are your options here. Severn Tunnel, here are your options here. So Portishead, Portbury Docks. This is quite a recent video actually. We did Portbury Docks to Merebank. Cabot Park, and then yeah, if we start at Bristol Temple Meads, we have several options, and you can see the direction that we would be going. So yeah, we could end up going to see the SS Great Britain. So yeah, those are your options with that route. So next one is the Chiltern Main Line. Again, we are a bit limited in where we can start and finish. I wish we had, greater options, but so we can start at London, which is obviously Marylebone station. We can start at Birmingham. If we start at Birmingham, we actually start at Snow Hill, not Moore Street. But yeah, you can set the finishing point to be yeah, any of the stations. You don't have to go you know, all the way to Birmingham. You can set it to just London to Banbury, which is, you know, pretty much halfway, or we can go, yeah, Banbury to Birmingham. And then yeah, the other way around. And then there's the Aylesbury branch, which yeah, so we can go to London, yeah, Aylesbury to London via Amersham, which keeps us entirely on the Aylesbury branch, or we can go from Aylesbury to London via Prince's Risborough, which yeah, we take the small branch line that goes between Aylesbury and the Chiltern line that's going on to Birmingham, and yeah, once we've done that, you then can start heading south towards London along that route. You can't go from here up to Birmingham. We then also have yeah, the Jubilee line. Not a lot of it, but it is a bit of it. So this is the London Underground. So yeah, we go from West Hampstead at one end and Wembley Park at the other. In fact, Finchley Road is at the other end. So, and then this route, this is part of the Metropolitan line. There's no reason to do this one, because I have the entire Metropolitan line. We'll cover that in a bit. So here we have London to Aylesbury via. Oh, okay, yeah. So I've shown the Aylesbury to London, so you see the other way around, London to Aylesbury there. And then we have the Neasden stop, which goes as far as Finchley Road. I'm really not sure what that route actually is. Never looked at it. But anyway, yes, there are certainly plenty of options as far as the Chiltern Main Line goes. And it does mean that, yeah, you can do London to Birmingham without constantly using the West Coast Main Line. You've got this as an option as well. So next route, and it is the Metropolitan line. So yeah, the London Underground. And it is the entire line, so you have Aldgate at one end, and then at the other ends, yeah, Chesham, Uxbridge and Watford are all the terminuses. So yeah, can't start wherever you like. It looks like you can't actually finish wherever you like, but yeah, there are a hell of a lot of stations which are not available as departure points or destinations, but I've got no problem with that. The starting points here and the destinations, these all make sense. I don't see why you would want to have ultimate destinations or have a starting point anywhere else other than these particular ones. So yeah, that's okay. The Metropolitan line, actually, you can see here, yeah, I have the enhanced version. So there has been a video of the Metropolitan line. None of it featured Zone 1 because Zone 1 is really challenging. It really is. But yeah, that was not the enhanced version that we did. So yeah, if and when this comes up again, we'll be able to see the differences between the standard and the enhanced versions. Well, hopefully. So the next one is the big one, Midland Main Line. Now this actually comprises of about 8 different route DLCs that have all been combined into one. So this contains the Sheffield to Derby route, which is like the main Midland Main Line route. That's the one you've got to have if you're going to, you know, get any of the other updates or any of the other sort of like extensions and add-on routes. So you got that one. There's the Erewash Valley line, the Derwent Valley line, Hope Valley line, the Buxton and Peak Forest line, the Nottingham, or no, the Leicester, Derby and Nottingham line, the Nottingham to Lincoln line, and they all combine into this one DLC. So you've got a huge amount of options as far as the Midland Main Line. In the online the online spreadsheet, I've listed all of the Midland Main Line DLCs individually, so you've got more of a chance there of seeing where each of the individual routes and that go. Well, to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because let's say we want to go from one end of it to the other. So if we want to go to Leicester, well, yeah, starting at Leicester and going to Manchester Piccadilly, no problem. It's all done on the one route. So yeah, whereas before, or if it hadn't been done this way, going from Leicester to Manchester Piccadilly would probably have taken you about 3 DLC changes in order to do that route, but not with this one. Also plenty of freight options as well, so yeah, this has got a bit of everything. So, but none of it is electrified, so you do need to use diesels. Right, next one is Newcastle to Edinburgh. I'd like to think that one is pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, Newcastle to Edinburgh Waverley. Or you can set the other way around. Or you can set it to stop from, if you're going from Newcastle, stop at Berwick. Or again, if you're going from Waverley to Berwick. The only other starting points, well, actually you can start at Berwick upon Tweed. You can also start at North Berwick. Despite the name, is nowhere near Berwick upon Tweed. So North Berwick to Edinburgh Waverley is relatively short. I'm not quite sure what this one here is, where it just has Waverley. Because, yeah, as you can see, there's no destination options, so, yeah, I don't know what that one is all about. But, yeah, it's quite a self-explanatory one, that. Coming up from London, that is the final part of the East Coast Main Line. Next one is the Scottish East Coast Main Line. So this one, at one end you have Edinburgh Waverley, and at the other you have Dundee, although you can carry on and go on to Perth, but the vast majority of it would go to Dundee. You may recognise some of these stops or some of these stations, because obviously we are going over the Forth Bridge on this route. So it will take us to the Fife Circle line, and we take the anti-clockwise route. So we take the scenic route, via Kirkcaldy. So yeah, this is a really good scenic route, this one. And then it's actually just before we reach Glenross with Thornton. If we're going on to Dundee, we turn off the Circle line. And carry on making our way to Dundee or Perth. Next one is the South Devon main line. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. Well, when you see the options, we don't have a huge amount of departure options. We don't have a great deal of departure options. So we have Taunton or Plymouth, so yeah, it's one end or the other. But as far as the stops, yeah, we can stop anywhere along the line once we are underway. Really wish we could start, you know, wherever we liked as well, but oh well, can't have everything. So yeah, that's the South Devon main line anyway. So next is the Southwestern Expressways. Now, this route, really, we at one end we have Reading, and I mean we have a huge amount of places that we can stop. So yeah, Taunton, Newbury Racecourse, or Newbury town itself. Hungerford, Frome, Exeter, plenty of stops at Exeter, and we can go right the way to Bristol. And yeah, if we start at Bristol, we can go on to Weston-super-Mare. So this is, yeah, it covers a large area, but it is more a sort of connections. It's more, yeah, like a fast route of getting from Reading down through the southwest. There's not a vast amount in terms of like interesting stations, and actually that's not strictly true. Yeah, there are plenty of like interesting stations. There are plenty of sites to see as well. Trouble is, this route covers an area that is about 300 miles, so all of the sites are all quite spread out. So it's more a route that's there in order to connect you from one major place to another. It's just a way of getting through an area that, although it does have some sites, they're not particularly it's not a huge abundance of them. So the final one on this page is the Kyle line. Almost certainly one of, if not the most scenic routes in Scotland. So yeah, at one end you have Inverness. At the other end you have Carla Lockhouse. Dingwall is about the only thing that comes close to being a major station along the route. So, yeah, there's that one. And we go on to page 5. So the last of the Just Trains prefix ones. The Wessex main line. So with this one we have Bournemouth at one end. Technically we have Southampton Central and St Denny at another end, but we also have a third end with Salisbury. So yeah, I mean, it's probably easier to start at Salisbury, and then you get all of these options here as far as, you know, how you're going to get to whatever your final destination is going to be. You got either the Southampton reversal or going via Chandler's Ford. But yeah, the entire Southampton to Bournemouth route DLC is included in this one. So yeah, there we go. So next stop is Liverpool to Manchester. So you got an awful lot of stations here, but the big ones, Liverpool Lime Street at one end, and you have Manchester Piccadilly at the other. The other major towns, if you can call them major towns, but you got Widnes, Warrington. I think that's about it. Yeah. So, yeah, there we go. So next one doesn't have an image, but it's the London Faversham high speed route. So the London station is St Pancras, and this is it sends you through HS1 as far as Ebbsfleet International, and then from there you have to change your voltage from St Pancras to Ebbsfleet. It's overhead 25 kilovolt AC, and then at Ebbsfleet, if you're going to continue onwards, you have to change to third volt 750 volt DC. This one also has the Sheerness on Sea extension to it. And obviously Faversham is the far end of that route. So next is the first of the the second of the underground lines. We've had the Metropolitan line. So this is the district line. It is incomplete. There are quite a few of the, in fact, all of the terminuses at the west end of the district line are there. So Ealing Broadway, Earl's Court. I can't remember what the other one is at that end. I think Hammersmith must be one of them. But as you go eastwards, it goes as far as Whitechapel. Surely Wimbledon is one of the terminuses as well. But it only goes as far as Whitechapel. So once again, it's the stretch along that follows the London, Tilbury and Southend line. After Whitechapel, it goes right the way alongside the LTS route as far as Upminster. So hopefully that bit gets done fairly soon. But nevertheless, that's the only part of the district line that is not included on this route. I have not yet driven it at all, but I'm sure I will. So next is the next London Underground line, the East London line. Now this is a line that it doesn't exist anymore. Initially it was part of the Metropolitan line, then it became its own standalone, the East London line. So it's now been replaced and it's now part of the London Overground line. But yeah, you got Shoreditch at one end, and at the other end, well, it does actually divide into two at the other end. So you've got either New Cross or New Cross Gate, yeah, the farce of New Cross. But yeah, so yeah, New Cross Gate, New Cross at one end, Shoreditch at the other. It's a fairly short line, as you can see. However, if the East London line is short, the next one is absolutely minuscule, because yeah, it's the Waterloo and City line, and I mean, it is quite amazing actually that we have this many options as far as departure and destination, because yeah, the Waterloo and City line goes from Waterloo to Bank, and that's it. You know, it's 3 miles. But I had the you know, I had all the requirements, so I was like, yeah, what the hell, let's get this as well. So yeah, well, there we go. In fact, Waterloo and City line, despite the fact that yeah, it is an underground line, for a long time, you can see it on the image there, it was actually run by Network South East. Now all three of those underground lines there, yeah, they are all freeware. Once again, forgot to mention about the freeware ones, but yeah, all three of those are freeware. Next then is London to Brighton. You really don't need me to tell you much about this one, do you? London Victoria at one end, Brighton at the other. You got Gatwick Airport along the way. Yeah, everyone knows the London to Brighton line, surely. So, yeah, self-explanatory one, that. Next is the Midland Main Line, London St Pancras to Bedford. So this section, or this, yeah, I mean, it is part of the Midland Main Line. It's the only part of the Midland Main Line that is not in the Just Trains one. You know, the huge great section. Bloody hell. So it's also the only part of the Midlands Main Line route that is electrified. Although, yeah, Bedford at the northern end, yeah, but Bedford St John's, the diesel, yeah, is, yeah, that part is not electrified. But the only way you can get there is if you start at Bedford. If you start anywhere else, you cannot select it. And it's a journey of less than half a mile, so it's utterly pointless. But yeah, so Bedford at one end and St Pancras at the other. Major stops along the way there. You've got St Albans, Luton Airport, Luton itself. Yeah, you've got a few important stops along the way there. So yeah, that's the MML London St Pancras to Bedford. Final one on page 5 is another freeware one. So this is the MML again, London St Pancras to Leicester. Now this one, if we start at yeah, start at St Pancras here, we can go as far as Leicester. So it is possible to go from London to Manchester using just 2 DLCs. This one to take you to Leicester, and then go from Leicester to Manchester in the Midland mainline network that we looked at earlier. But this has all of the stops between Bedford and St Pancras. So we have Market Harborough, Kettering, Wellingborough. But the electrification still stops at Bedford, so if you want to continue on from Bedford to Leicester or any of these stops here, then it's diesel train time. So on to page 6, we have the North London and Goblin lines. So this one, you can go, I mean, even though it's North London and Goblin lines, it actually does include West London. You can start at Clapham Junction, so you can actually start south of the river, despite the fact that this is the North London and Goblin lines. So you can carry on from Clapham Junction and then make your way right the way around to Stratford. And I think you got the Richmond starting point as well. It's on another line. I can't remember which line. It takes you in Kew Gardens, Gunnersbury, until you get to Willesden Junction. That's where all the lines seem to converge. So plenty of options as far as the North London and Goblin lines. There's plenty more options as far as North London travel goes. Because we have this one, the North London line. So this is the original route DLC for here. So this one will take you to from Richmond to Stratford. Has Gospel Oak Station. In fact, I forgot to highlight that in the previous one. The previous one does have the Goblin line. It was in the title, which takes you from Gospel Oak to Barking. This one doesn't. And the Goblin line is not electrified. The rest of it is. But you've got part of it is using overhead AC electrification, and part of it is using third rail. So it is definitely a good idea to use a dual voltage loco such as the 378 that they show here. But the Goblin line itself is not electrified, so it's diesels for that one. And we are still not finished as far as the North London travel goes, because we also have this one. This is another freeware one. North London lines. This one is set in the BR and Network Southeast era, and this covers quite a large area. And it even has the Broad Street terminus. Of course, that has long since gone, but we do have that option. But, I mean, we can start at Euston, so we can actually use this to take us to I'm sure there is a way of being able to go from, say, West London here, maybe Richmond. You can go from Richmond to Broad Street. So that's one London terminus. Unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't give us the option of getting to Euston. It's one of those routes that I do need to take a much closer look at, because yeah, there's a hell of a lot of options here for this one. But I mean, we can also continue on quite a way to the north, so we can go as far as St Albans Abbey. I mean, immediately if we go in there, then yeah, we can only go from there to Watford Junction, and I think we can go the other way around. Yeah, so we can go from Watford Junction to St Albans Abbey, so we may even yeah, so we could, for example, do a route, yeah, St Albans Abbey, which in this image here is this station here, to Watford Junction here, and then okay, we'd have to start a new run, but we can then go from Watford Junction here to, yeah, right the way across to Broad Street, which is down around here, back up here, and onto there. So, anyway, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of options here. As you can see, a hell of a lot of freight options as well. So, yeah, there's a lot in this particular route DLC. I haven't yet driven it at all, but I suspect it won't be long before I do. So next one, North Somerset Railway. This is a relatively short one. This, I think it goes from yeah, Frome is definitely one end, and I'm pretty sure it is Radstock at the other. It's not even 20 miles, but it is incredibly scenic. It's a fantastically scenic route, this one. Not electrified at all. It's yeah, entirely early diesels. Probably a good steam one to do. So yeah, that's the North Somerset. So North Wales coastline. This is another one that's had a bit of a alteration, but yeah, we have Crewe at one end, and at the other end is Holyhead. But we could go, if we were starting at Crewe, we could go to Llandudno. And we can also, if we start at Llandudno, in fact we could start either Llandudno, the Gunwy, or Llandudno Junction, and we could then take the Conwy Valley as far as Blaenau Festiniog. And because it's a relatively long route actually, so I've put that in the online spreadsheet as a separate line. It's not just, I've not just left it as part of North Wales coastline. That line is the Conwy Valley line, and yeah, I've got that in there as its own separate route, and deservedly so. It's I have already done one run on that route, and I highly recommend you take a look at it. It looks fantastic. No part of the North Wales coastline is electrified. The Conwy Valley line is another freeware route, but yeah, it's not a standalone route. It's when you install it, it becomes part of the North Wales coastline. So next one is Portsmouth Direct Line. That one though is not really worth doing because it's completely included in this one here. So the next one is, yeah, Portsmouth direct line, London Waterloo to Portsmouth, and it's pretty much what you would imagine. So London Waterloo at one end, at the other end, would you believe, it's Portsmouth Harbour. We do also have some branch options as well. So yeah, Hampton Court branch here. I'm sure there are others as well. Norbiton, I think, might be one. Motspur Park. So yeah, you've got a few options there. It does mention Windsor a couple of times, but I don't think we actually have an option to stop at Windsor anywhere here. So yeah, so you've got plenty of options with this route anyway. This run is electrified, but it is third rail only. Next is the return to Mardy. Now this one, yeah, it's a fairly short option, or a fairly short route. So you have Porth. I wonder if that's anything to do with Port Call. Yeah, that's, I think it's the southern end, and then yeah, you can go on to Mardy Colliery. I think there may even be like a small sort of passenger line here. So even though these stations are, yeah, pretty much your entire options as far as your departure and your destination, I think there are additional stations on the route. It's a steam DLC, but obviously, yeah, you can use early diesel. I've not driven a single inch of it yet, but I'm sure I will. So but there you go. Yeah, that's the Return to Mardy. There's also a route DLC called Memories of Mardy, which I will be getting because I need that for another freeway route that I want. So I don't know if that will enhance this and add to it, or if it is completely separate. Guess we'll find out when the next Steam sale comes along. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's that one. Final one on page 6 is the Riviera line. I've got this section here, yeah, Exeter to Paignton, in about 5 different DLCs. This particular route, yeah, we can go on to Torquay. I think this is the only route where I can go on to Torquay. All the rest, yeah, turn off, and I don't have the option. So I do still need this one if we're going to Tor or Torquay here. But everything else, yeah, I've got in plenty of others. So on to page 7, first one here, yeah, Riviera line in the 50s. Now this one does have a few additional stations that are not in the more up-to-date one. And of course, yeah, all of the trains and all of the, like, you know, how the stations are all like decorated and everything else, all very much of the 50s era. So it's predominantly steam, but there are some early diesels as well. So Definitely worth a look. It is one of those routes where even if you do already have the other Riviera line, it is worth getting this one as well, because you've got a fantastically scenic route, and it's just enhanced even further by the having the steam trays there, or the early diesels, Next route then, Settle to Carlisle. It's somewhat self-explanatory, I think. Carlisle at one end, Settle at the other. Ribblehead is the only other possible starting point where the Ribblehead viaduct is. Plenty of very small stations along the route. Yeah, that's all your options there. Again, not electrified, unsurprisingly. So it's steam or diesel only, that one. Next is the Somerset Dorset Joint Railway. So this one is very much set in the steam era. So yeah, at one end you have Bath Green Park, at the other end you have Temple Combe, and again plenty of stops along the way. So yeah, that's your options there. So that one is very much set in the steam era. So steam or early diesels. Well, you can use modern diesels as well, I suppose, but next is the South London network. So this one is, it has all of the loop areas that take you out as you go from essentially London Victoria to London Bridge. Whether you take the inner loop or the outer loop, you have a whole slew of stations. So yeah, quite a handy thing here. So if we start London Bridge, we can just select London Victoria and we can choose if we are going via the inner loop or the outer loop, which is what I did in one of the videos of this route that I did. I think that was in the class 456. So that route is electrified. It's entirely third rail. Next one is South London and Thameslink. This route is one that I actually posted about in the in the posts section quite recently. So with this one, you can go from Bedford right the way to Brighton without missing out any any part of the run, because we also have the Thameslink core section as well. So yeah, once we get from Kentish Town to St Pancras, we will go to St Pancras Thameslink, and then we're going right through Farringdon, Barbican, Moorgate, City Thameslink. That's the station that used to be Holborn Viaduct, and then we emerge at London Blackfriars and carry on going down to Brighton. There's also a fair old chunk of the South London route in here as well. So yeah, you really do have an awful lot here. And once you are approaching Brighton, as you can see, we even have the option to go to Hove. So it's not just Brighton that we'll be going to. So yeah, this is another freeware route. I've not yet driven it. I suspect I will be fairly soon, but yeah, that does look like quite something. Now obviously, to do the entire length Bedford to Brighton or Hove, you need a train that has dual voltage. The bedpan line is 25 kilovolt AC overhead electrification, and I think it's once you reach Farringdon you need to then switch over to third rail 750 volt DC. So yeah, and that's a freeware one. Next route is South Wales Main Line. For reasons that may become apparent a bit later on, a lot of this route is kind of redundant. Really, the only time we would use this is if we were going from, I don't know, Cardiff Central, maybe do the Cardiff Queen Street branch here. But yeah, if we go from Cardiff Central to like Port Talbot or Nice, or on to Swansea or Bridgend, of course. Because the Bristol to Cardiff part I have in another route DLC, which I think is likely to be used a bit more often. This route not electrified, so again, diesels very much the order of the day with that one. So next is the southwestern main line, Southampton to Bournemouth. Really, this one has become a bit redundant now, because if we're going to do any of this route, we'll use the Wessex main line because it's all on there as well. So yeah, everything that was on that route is here, and a lot more besides. So next is the Southeastern Network. Now this one, it's another one of those really large spread out areas. Has a lot of different London terminuses. So it has London Victoria, London Blackfriars and London Bridge, which we've already seen in other routes. But this also has Charing Cross and Cannon Street. It covers a large old area around southeast London, into Kent and into East Sussex. I think it goes into East Sussex anyway. But unfortunately, Quick Drive hasn't really been updated, and there's a lot of sections which I would like to see, but we're not given a chance to. So this is one of those routes where I'd be thinking, I really need to have a stab at doing my own scenarios for this one. But I mean, we can go as far as Cannon Street to Tunbridge, and we can go straight from London to Tunbridge without any poncing about with the Medway Valley section. We can just get straight there. So if you're going to do a run, say London to Hastings, oh dear, this is definitely the first DLC to use. And this is another freeware one, and it's a fantastic one as well. A lot of detail in here. So has already made a few appearances in videos as well, this one. Fully electrified, it's all third rail. final one on page 7 is the suburban Glasgow Northwest, Springburn to Helensburgh. And this, yeah. So you are able to go from Glasgow Queen Street, and at the other end you can go as far as yeah, Helensburgh Upper, which is the gateway to the West Highland Line. Or if we start at Glasgow Queen Street low level, no it's not, or maybe yeah, if we go via Singer, no it's not Singer, it must be in via Yoke. Yeah, here we go, and you can get to Helensburgh Central. Helensburgh Upper is on a short branch that is not electrified, the rest of the route is. So yeah, you want to keep that in mind as well when you're choosing a route here. Now the next route, yeah, is still the suburban Glasgow, but this also includes the Airdrie extension. So yeah, this is one of those where if anyone's going to request this, yeah, the suburban Glasgow Northwest route, I'll always do, yeah, use this version with the Airdrie extension fitted to it. So next is the 1066 line, Hastings to Tunbridge. This is a fantastic route, this, it really is. So yeah, Tunbridge at one end, Hastings at the other. It's fantastically detailed, really good scenic route, and it's quite the challenge. There are a lot of pretty hefty gradients on here. In real life it is quite a challenging drive even for experienced drivers, and it has freight options as well as passenger options, so yeah, it's got everything. This isn't just one of my favourite freeware routes, it's one of my favourite routes in the game by quite a distance. It's a superb one, this. It is electrified, again, it's third rail, but yeah, electric trains are an option. Next up is the Isle of Wight. I mean, it's very short, there's no doubt about it, but now that I'm also including steam trains, there is the option then of doing the steam options. I think the steam options start at Smallbrook Junction. I'll have to double check to see where they start, but I think that is where. Otherwise, yeah, it's a very short route. It's not even 10 miles. I don't think it's anywhere near 10 miles from Ryde Pierhead at one end, and the other end is Shanklin, isn't it? Yeah. And you've got to use tube stock. You've got to use the class 483. You might get away with some of the other tube trains that I've got now. I've not tried it, but you might do. So, you know, there is possibly some variety, you know, options there. You never know. But, anyway, there we are, yeah, Isle of Wight. It is another scenic route, you certainly can't deny that. Obviously electrified as well in on the main line. So there is also the Heritage Railway, which is steam. Next is the Woodhead line. This is the Woodhead line in the 1950s. So yeah, you've got Manchester to Sheffield. If you're starting at Sheffield, okay, I thought you could go to Wath if you were starting at Sheffield, but there we go. So yeah, if you're starting at Wath, you can go to Manchester, Manchester London Road, but you can't go from Wath to Sheffield. So yeah. West Coast Main Line North next. So this is another one. You don't get a huge amount of options here, but it's certainly a long old route this. So yeah, Carlisle is the southernmost point, and you can go as far as Glasgow Central. I'm pretty sure it is just over 100 miles. But I mean, you can see the options: Carlisle, Carstairs, Glasgow Central, Motherwell, and Lockerbie. That's it. That's all of your entire options. There are other stations, but yeah, your starting points and your destinations, yeah, needs to be any of those. Obviously, that route is fully electrified, overhead 25 kilovolt to AC. Woodhead line is also yeah, fully electrified. It's overhead 1500 volt DC, but as long as you are using a train that has the you know, the pantograph for overhead electrification, it will work on the Woodhead line. So yeah, you can use any AC electric train on that route. Anyway, next one, West Coast Main Line over Shap. Get a lot of options with this one, including, yeah, coming in from other routes here. And there's a lot of freight options here, including, yeah, starting at military defence ground. But as far as the actual line, so Preston is the southernmost point, and if you are staying on the West Coast Main Line, then yeah, the northernmost point is Carlisle, but you can come off it and yeah, go to actually, yeah, if you're going to Annan, yeah, I think you've got to start at Carlisle. I don't think you can get to the likes of Annan and Gretna from... Oh, no, you can. So you can do, yeah, Preston to Gretna. But yeah, if you're doing just the West Coast Main Line, then yeah, Preston to Carlisle. Still a fair old distance. Also has the yeah, the Morecambe branch as well. The Morecambe branch is not electrified. I don't think the Annan branch is either. And the Gretna. Yeah, Gretna station is on that same branch as Annan, so yeah, those parts are not electrified either. So it's only the West Coast Main Line itself that is electrified. Again, overhead yeah, 25 kilovolt AC. Next one, West Coast Main Line South. So this one, yeah, quite a long old one. Covers from Euston to Birmingham New Street. It's certainly not the only London to Birmingham route that I've got, but this is the only way if you're going to, you know, use or if you're planning on using the electrification. So this is fully electrified, whereas the other route, which is the Chiltern line, yeah, that is not electrified. This also has the Watford DC line, so yeah, you can start at Euston and go, yeah, as far as Watford Junction. As the name rather suggests, this is yeah, 750 volt DC, so yeah, it's third rail. So you got quite a bit of variety on this route. But the vast majority of times that I have been you know, asked to do a run on here, it's been either Euston to Birmingham or Birmingham to Euston. Next one is West Coast Main Line Trent Valley. So this route starts at Rugby Rugby at one end, that's the southern end. Northern end is Stafford. Your stops along the way, yeah, so you got Atherstone, Lichfield, Nuneaton, Polesworth, Rugeley and Tamworth. Yeah, you can also start, yeah, this is coming into the Trent Valley from Daventry, which is on the Northampton loop. I don't have the Northampton loop. It's unlikely I'll be getting it anytime soon because it has no quick drive options. But again, this route fully electrified. There are quite a few I was about to say there are quite a few freight options here. I'm not entirely sure there are. It might be, yeah, there may be. Well, there may be some anyway. It is a route that, yeah, does have a lot. It gets a lot of freight use as well as passenger use. So it's a good all-rounder one. Final one for page 8 is the Weardale and Teesdale Rail Network. So this is another one of those routes where it's all very spread out and you can, you know, see various parts of it depending on which route you are taking. It's not one of those point A to B ones, although, yeah, the departure and destination options almost seem to be saying that it is, which is a bit of a shame. I could have sworn it wasn't. I mean, I do have another route that's around this area which is definitely a lot more open. This route is not electrified, so yeah, this is diesels, very much diesel territory. It's also set in, I think it's set in the 50s. So yeah, really early diesels with that one. What I'm doing. Okay, so we're on to page 9. Next one is, yeah, the Welsh Marches line. So this one, at one end you have Newport, and at the other end you have, well, really, yeah, you have Shrewsbury, but there is also, yeah, Coton Hill Yard. So that's a freight yard just outside Shrewsbury. And even though it's advertised as a Welsh route, you actually don't spend a hell of a lot of time in Wales on this one. So if you start at Shrewsbury, yeah, there's only 4 stops actually within Wales: Abergavenny, Pontypool, Cwmbran and Newport. But that said, this is another great scenic route, and this is another one that also offers a lot of freight options as well as passenger options. Not electrified, so yeah, again, it's diesels for that one. Now, the next one is the West Anglia Main Line. As you can see, I have two different versions, not by choice. Even though the thumbnails would suggest this is the one that's had a lot more done to it, and this thing looks like it's abandoned and being ignored. In fact, it's the other way round. Version 1 is the one that's had a lot more work done to it. Version 2 is an absolute travesty. I've actually unsubscribed from it, both in-game and in Steam, but it still keeps cropping up here. I wish it didn't, but there we are. But yeah, this is the one that we would be doing, and the main reason for doing this is to go to Stansted Airport. I can't remember exactly what the southernmost point of it is. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Cheshunt or if it's Harlow. I think it's Cheshunt. But yeah, the main reason for this one, I mean, if Cheshunt is the southernmost point of it, they only needed to go on another 2 stations and it would have had us at Stratford, which would have made a lot more sense. But like I say, this route, it's pretty much been abandoned. It's not going to be. It's not going to have any more work done to it, despite the fact that the guy who made it keeps insisting that he will. But I mean, nothing has been done on this route, version 1 or version 2, since about 2018, I think. So yeah, it's yeah. Don't expect anything more being added to it, which is a shame because it does look good. And it has an enormous amount of potential. It's very nearly completed, so it just needed another couple of stations to the south, but there we are. And what's there is good, still worth a look. I have done one run on there. There is a video of it. It is electrified, as you can see overhead, 25 kilovolt AC. Next one is the West Highland Line extension. So this is the one that takes you from Fort William to Malé, or vice versa. Don't have a huge amount of choice as far as where you'll be starting or finishing. There are a lot more stations than these ones listed here. Stunningly scenic route. If you like your scenic routes, this is a must-have route. Yeah, this is a great one. Unsurprisingly, it is not electrified. It is very much diesels. Next one is West Highland Line South. So yeah, if you want the West Highland Line extension, you have to have this first. So this is the part that Fort William at one end and Helensburgh Upper at the other. It's fantastically scenic. It is extremely long. It's going to take you a long old while to do the entire length of it. Getting on 4 hours. And of course I did do the full length of it in the Behemoth run, so you want to take a look at that and see what this is like. Yeah, it's right there. Well, there's your options for that one. Again, diesels only, no electrification in that one. Next up, West Somerset Railway. This is another one that is set in around the 50s. It's very much yeah, steam or early diesels. So you have Bishop's Lydeard at one end and Minehead at the other. It's not a hugely long route. It's about 20 something miles, but it does have a very low maximum speed, so it does take a while to get from one end to the other. Another very scenic route as well. Not quite as scenic as the North Somerset route, but it's still well worth you know, giving it a look. Next up is the West of Scotland lines, the Port Road. This is a seriously long old route, and as much as I like the you know, the scenic routes, this is a route that I do not recommend trying to go all the way through it in one run. It's not a good move. But yeah, at one end you have Stranraer, whether it's Stranraer Harbour or Stranraer Town, and at the other you have Carlisle, wherever it will appear. There it is. So it's somewhere in the region of 107 miles in total. It does have quite low speed limits as well, so yeah, you're going to be on there for a long old time. So it's much better if you're going to start at Stranraer to then set your destination somewhere like Castle Douglas, maybe set it to Dumfries. But I certainly would not recommend going any further than that in one run. And then, you know, you just start the next run from, you know, Dumfries and then go on to Carlisle. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory stuff. Again, route is not electrified. It's very much early diesels and steam, that one. Next up is Western Main Lines. Now this is the one that I was telling you about, which has replaced the South Wales route if you are going from Bristol to Cardiff, because with this one you can go from London to Cardiff in one DLC. So 145.4 miles covered in one route, and this one does stay on the Great Western Main Line all the way. So it's coming up with these stations here, but there are plenty of other stations as well. But yeah, we go to Didcot Parkway and then we carry on to Swindon, and as we reach Bristol, it is Bristol Parkway that we go through, not Bristol Temple Meads, which is, yeah, because we are staying on the Great Western Main Line. There are plenty of other options as far as where you can start and finish on this route. This one suggests, so yeah, we can actually go from London to Plymouth in one route DLC. Yeah. We also have the yeah, the Oxford to Bicester Village branch on here, so we could do a run across multiple DLCs where we are going from, say, Birmingham Moor Street down the Chiltern line as far as Bicester, turning into yeah, Bicester Village, and then going from here onto Oxford, and then from Oxford going on to well, Oxford to London. Wouldn't really need to do that actually, because yeah, we could go it doesn't look like it's giving us the option. That's a shame. We could have gone from Oxford to yeah, onwards to, you know, the likes of Didcot, Swindon, Bristol, but it looks like, yeah, we don't have that option. So if we are coming in from Bicester, we've got to start heading eastwards towards, yeah, back towards London. That's a shame. It must be, yeah, the way the route has been done in real life, I mean, not just here. But, yeah, so if we were doing London to Exeter, yeah, after Swindon, we then turn off Chippenham, Bath Spa, so we then go through Bristol, Temple Meads, then on to Taunton, Tiverton Parkway, Exeter, St David's, 194 miles in one route DLC. But yeah, that I was absolutely not expecting this. I mean, it's a shame there's no AI, but I mean, when you consider this is a 245 mile route, you can kind of understand it, especially as this is not a recent route DLC. This is a fairly old one, so I would imagine that yeah, quite a few of the a few features and that we would take almost for granted now, like, you know, plenty of AI on long distance runs. They probably didn't dare put it in when this one came along, because it was yeah, too resource heavy. Now, I've just seen this one. So, over end of line from London Marylebone, Bicester Village, and we can then continue onwards to Temple Meads. So what about this one? That's going the other way. And that's going, yeah, Oxford. That's the one we already checked. And yeah, that's going the. So okay, we can go from Bicester to. Yeah, the likes of Bristol, and obviously, you know, yeah, once we've stopped at Bristol Parkway, we can just start from there, do another run, and hopefully there is the option to go from Bristol to Cardiff. It is a real shame that this route has, yeah, some, you know, rather limited options as far as starting and finishing points. It would have been fantastic if we could have just chosen any starting point we liked. Yeah, oh well. The fact that this route covers such a large area and still contains a, you know, a reasonable amount of you know, ground that I have not seen because I didn't have it in any other route DLC is, yeah, fine by me. It also renders the Southwestern Expressways route pretty redundant now, as well as a few other routes. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, Western Main Lines, not electrified, so it's all diesels, but certainly not the end of the world. Last one on page 9, the Wherry lines. So Norwich to Great Yarmouth and Lowestoft. Not the longest of routes, but we have quite a few options as far as where we are going and where we're stopping with this one. But yeah, obviously, yeah, Norwich one end, the other end where you've either got Great Yarmouth or you've got Lowestoft, you know. It's pretty self-explanatory in that regards. But there's a lot of freight as well as passenger runs on here, so yeah, you got some some great options. This one has been upgraded with the there's an update to it available from Armstrong Powerhouse, which I have installed. This is the one and only route that Armstrong Powerhouse have developed themselves. So again, not electrified, so very much diesels with this one. Right, we are on to the 10th and final page. So, Woodhead Electric Railway in blue. So this is the Woodhead line again, but this time in the 1970s. So if you're going to be doing any passenger runs on here, you'll almost certainly be doing them in the Class 506. And that would have you going from Manchester Piccadilly to Hadfield. But there are other stations beyond there. Well, for a start, the Class 506 wouldn't be going beyond Hadfield, so you'd have to take the 76, or a decent train of your choice if you're going to go beyond Hadfield. Also, all of the freight runs are going well beyond Hadfield as well. So you have a good number of options here. But obviously Sheffield Victoria is the furthest point from Manchester Piccadilly. It looks like Rotherwood Sidings. I suspect Rotherwood Sidings is pretty close to Sheffield Victoria. But that's the full length then. Rather like the Woodhead line in the 50s, but the layout of this one is quite different. Next one is East Coast Main Line, York to Peterborough. Looks like you can start at any of the stations along here. Actually not, it looks like any of the stations along this route. We also have the branch here with which is where you'll find Selby and Retford station here. But the vast majority of people doing this route, it's start at Peterborough, end at York, do the full length run. It's fully electrified, overhead at 25 kilovolt AC, and plenty of 125 mph zones here. This one's all about going as fast as you possibly can. Right, the last three are all freeware routes. So DPS Northeast England. This one has appeared in a fair few videos, but this is the one that it's a very spread out area. There are a lot of sections that you can only access if you are starting at a particular place. So we'll go through all of the starting options here, and you can see where the final finishing, final destination options are. . This route is partially electrified. There is also quite a fair bit of it that has no electrification. But the section from York to Darlington, which is the East Coast Mainline section, that is electrified. So if you are wanting to do, a full electric loco run from London to Edinburgh, this route, if you start at York and are making your way north to, there you go, so Darlington, so you can do that part. Yeah, that's it. You can do that part electrified. Then you'd have to switch to the York to Newcastle section, but start at Darlington and go on to Newcastle. It's a much shorter section where you're having to go a bit slow and in a diesel train. So it also has that added bonus feature. So there you go, that's all your options there. Covers a large area around the northeast. Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, goes as far south as York. So yep, quite a large area that one does. Next up is Dorset Coast. So this is a Golden Age Designs route, and so this one goes from Bournemouth to Weymouth, and Weymouth Quay here means that you can indeed traverse the Weymouth tramway, which is not there anymore, but it was there for long enough to become pretty much legendary. It's set in the 50s, very much steam era, but I mean, being in the 50s, you can certainly have early diesels here. And if you don't care about being period specific, then plenty of diesels that can run this route as well. So yep, that is the Dorset Coast, and we go on to the final one, which is another Golden Age Designs, the West of England Main Line. And so this covers quite a large area, so from Exeter Central, and it goes right out to Yeovil. But we also have a number of branch lines down towards the south coast. Lyme Regis is the one that I certainly recognise. Sidmouth sounds familiar as well. So yeah, you've got quite a few. Don't worry about this no AI business here. That's if you are using a system that doesn't quite have enough oomph to it. Because as we go on, here we go. So British Rail AI, and then it's the same routes again, and then Southern Rail AI, and again the same routes. So yeah. There is AI on these on these quick drive options, assuming you have the right trains. I don't know if I do. I've not yet driven anywhere on this route, but again, I am pretty sure I will do quite soon. And that is the routes. Plenty of them. So I mean, this video is probably astronomically long, but going through all of the Loco and the route options is going to take a while. But anyway, that's everything that is available as of this moment. There is going to be a pinned comment which will be updated whenever any additional locos or routes get added that do not appear in this video. So yeah, there you are. That's all your options available. Over to you, and yeah, we'll see what it is that you lot start requesting.